So here's the situation, folks. I've got a piping hot cup of tea, one of my favourite mugs. I'm going to drink said cup of tea. Oh, that is as hot as it looks as well. And I'm going to have a chat with you all, which means it must be about time for a chatty cup of tea with me video. Hello people of the internet, welcome back to my channel. My name's AJ, and if you're new around here, this is a chatty cup of tea with me video. This is where I sit down, have a cup of tea, and have a chat with you. And before I go any further in the video, can I just say congratulations to all of you for making it through the worst month of the year, bar none, January. Can you tell I'm not much of a fan of January? Are we really surprised that like 99.69% of all New Year's resolutions fail within the first month, when the first month of the year is January? A year full of nothing but grey, dark, cloudy skies, windy, rainy weather. It's dark when you go out in the morning, and then it's dark again by the time you come home again. Everyone's broke after Christmas, and everyone's sad because it's not Christmas anymore. And for me especially, a lot of those things that I was just saying, like the grey, miserable days, the lack of sunlight, everything else, it kind of just turns my brain into a big sort of soggy blancmange. This thick fog of like seasonal affective disorder, SADS, depression flaring up as a result. My productivity this past month has been about on the same level as roadkill. It's just been a case of just plodding along, do what I have to do, just get that done somehow, and make it out the other side. Thankfully, I'm in February now, and you all are as well. If you did manage to come through January relatively unscathed, well done to you. Give yourself a pat on the back and a nice sort of warm drink, or a nice cuddly blanket. I did do that a few times this past month. I did just sit down to edit at my computer, or maybe do some work just in my pyjamas wrapped up in a big blanket. It was nice, you know? But now that we have successfully navigated the treacherous waters that are January, and I can actually sort of think clearly and process and kind of work out what I'm doing and imagine, make plans and things like that, that's exactly what I have been doing in my brand new bullet journal. And contained within this all-powerful tome is kind of my plans, my goals for this year, mostly goals and kind of my vision for this YouTube channel and my Twitch channel, and basically AJCantFail and what I'm doing on the internet for the year 2020, really. Because here's the thing, last year, of course, was the first series of Another Station, Another Mile, which went down so much greater than I could ever have imagined, really. I just thought it was just going to be a few people be like, oh yeah, it's a nice video about trains, let's watch something else. But the reaction I got and the response and the views and everything else, amazing. But it did also make me start thinking about, well, hang on a minute, should I maybe have a sort of defined plan for what I'm doing in terms of content creation in the year of our Lord 2020? Because one thing I've always struggled about, especially on YouTube, I know for a fact that this kind of probably restricted Armbar Arcade's growth. Like, me and Nate deliberately did that channel to play whatever the hell we wanted with no restrictions, and it was fine, we had a great time, but we were well aware the whole time that in the great sort of algorithm wars that we're all in as YouTubers, playing all these different types of games was an absolute nightmare for the algorithm. You see, the algorithm on YouTube, and I don't know if Twitch is the same way, I kind of suspect it might be, the algorithm prefers that you stick to a kind of, not entirely narrow, but not a massive lane. You can't just be a gaming YouTuber, you kind of have to stick to a certain genre, a certain style. And I knew, before I even started this channel we're on right now, that I would struggle in that aspect even if it wasn't a gaming channel anymore. I just have a lot of different things that I really like, I have a lot of different things that I'm passionate about, and therefore a lot of different ideas for videos I want to make and topics I want to make videos about. You'll have noticed last year that I did the first series of Another Station, Another Mile, then immediately pivoted into doing first impressions and review of games videos. So I immediately went straight from railway history vlogs to gaming review videos, which for some may have been a bit of a, hang on a minute, I've subbed for one thing and now I'm getting another. And of course, if you like both of those things, that's great. But as a viewer, it can mean you're like, no, maybe I won't watch this one, and then you just don't end up watching anything after that. I am very wary in the back of my mind of that sort of, what would I feel as a viewer if I've subbed on to this one thing that I really like, and then immediately I go, the YouTuber goes, great, I'm glad you like that. I'm now going to do something completely different. Say nothing if you're cool with that. So that's always been a little bit of a concern. Even though I know ultimately it's, my channel, I should be able to do whatever the hell I want. But these are the things I think about, you know what I mean? After getting through the fog of January that was, I was able to sit down and actually figure out the kinds of video I want to make, some new stuff I want to try out, just the sort of things I want to do, the sort of stuff that I want you guys to watch and hopefully enjoy. And it all sort of tied together into this sort of little, corner of the internet that I'm curating over here. I'm like a sort of variety cafe, just like, hello, welcome, sit down, there's a Model Railway set over there, and a sort of a bookshelf of train books over there, and there's also an old PS1 console where you can play some video games over there. Have a seat and I'll bring you a cup of tea. Speaking of which. So, let's have a look inside the bullet journal of power and see what I'm doing with my life. Just, what am I doing with everything? I don't know. First thing to note, by the way, in the current scene, as it were, the current series of Another Station on the Mile, it's only going to be 8 episodes. I had originally planned to make this one 12. Obviously, the first season was 8, but I did want to do 12 this time around. I feel like I had enough ideas. But with how sluggish January was, and, I already had to put back a few episodes because I was just so struggling to get stuff done. And, of course, this season, you may have noticed the episodes have been a little bit longer. I've actually been using 2 cameras on a shoot rather than just one, and I've been trying out some different editing techniques and stuff. Whereas in the first series, an episode was taking about a day or so to film and then a day, maybe day and a half to write and edit and put together. In season 2, it's been upwards of 2 days to film sometimes, and then another 2, maybe 3 days to edit each one. So with that in mind, I've trimmed this season from 12 back to 8, same as the first series. So obviously, that then leaves the conundrum of what the hell do I put out on this channel in between series? I can't just leave it dormant. First up, very simple, Another Station on the Mile Extra. You may have noticed the Longfield Model Railway exhibition video was titled this. They are kind of what they say on the tin. Train videos that aren't quite big enough to become a full Another Station on the Mile episode. Or maybe they're just a little thing that I want to put out now. I don't want to have to wait to then turn it into a full episode whenever the next series happens to roll around, if you see what I mean. Of course, Chatty Cup of Tea with me videos will be continuing. This is kind of my way of just doing sit-down vlogs on this channel, which I always like. I enjoy watching other people's chatty vlogs, especially the more informal, more relaxed ones. So along with those, there are a few brand new styles of video I can't wait to try out this year. First of which is what I'm going to call show and tell. Do you remember show and tell back at school? Maybe you had it in primary school or something like that, where you bring in something cool, a toy you like or whatever, and you share why you like it and what's important, why it's important to you or means something to you. I always quite like that concept, and I generally like just listening to people talk about things that they really love and things that they're really into. It might be hobbies, it might be favourite bands, whatever it is. People can be like, sorry if I'm boring you, I'm whittering on about this band that you're not really into. I'm like, I don't care. Seeing how happy this band makes you or this thing makes you makes me happy as well. That's lovely. It's very wholesome. So I thought, well, is there a way we can put some of that energy into a kind of nice video series to do? Already got some ideas for that one. Looking forward to debuting that. It's worth saying that all of these videos outside of the Another Station on the Mile main series are kind of as and when. There won't really be a set schedule for them. They'll just be one of several kinds of video that will be going up each Wednesday. And then potentially there'll be extra ones on Saturday if I have enough videos to do so. Because I'm well aware that a mistake I've done in the past as a creator is gone, well, what are these people doing? I should do that as well. But the people I've looked at are often full-time in what they do. So they're full-time YouTubers, full-time streamers, whatever else. I then try and say, I'm going to stream X amount of times a week, blah, 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 and then forget that I also have a full-time freelancing career to look after, plus real life, plus travel, plus everything else. So I have to sort of rein myself back a little bit, which I often find a little bit tricky to do. My aim is to nail a video each week on Wednesdays, and then if I happen to have enough video for an extra one in a week, that will go out on Saturday. That's the rough plan. So 2 other types of video I want to try out this year. The first one is simply what I've given the working title of the Small Train Chronicles, because it may not surprise you that much to know that given how much I'm into full-size trains, I also rather like small, little trains, tiny trains. If you followed on my Twitter or Instagram, at AJCantFail for both, I've sporadically posted whenever I've got new little N-gauge locomotives or stock for my as-yet unbuilt layout. But this year's the year I'm actually going to start building the thing. I've got a couple of baseboards lingering over there, and I figured I may as well share that on here as well. Because if you're like me, and you like full-size trains, you probably like small trains as well. So the Small Train Chronicles will both chronicle my building of the layout. It'll be like progress updates, things like that. Look at some of the locomotives and things like that, like meet the fleet, and then just some general sort of chill running sessions, maybe some little like music video types things, you know, all good stuff. So if you've enjoyed my videos about full-size trains, I hope you're looking forward to some trains from me about little tiny small trains. And the final kind of video is one I've not really defined yet, but I kind of wanted to bring back some sort of gameplay or let's play type videos. I do want to do some let's play style videos. They'll probably sort of be first impression let's plays. They won't be like full complete series or anything like that. I kind of figure that a nice kind of first impression series to do will be kind of, well, I like the look of this game, let's have a play of it, and if I enjoy it and you guys enjoy it, then maybe I'll go back to it and play it some more on Twitch. Maybe I'll complete the full game on Twitch. That's kind of the idea behind that. Speaking of Twitch, I've happened to mention that quite a bit in the last few minutes, haven't I? Let's talk about the plans for my Twitch channel. You may have noticed that my Twitch channel has been dormant since before Christmas. There's a very good reason for that. I've just been figuring out what I want to play on there. I mentioned my YouTube schedule and I mentioned not wanting to overcommit myself. The big issue I've had with my Twitch schedule is I kind of want to, if possible, and I feel like this is the best way to do it, nail down specific days of the week to stream on. So it's like, oh, I'm AJCantFail. I stream on X day, Y day, and Z day at B time of day, you know? But with my real life being kind of so all over the place, maybe one week I could stream on those days, and then the next I'm traveling for a couple of those days, or maybe next week I'm free on a different day. I'm directly asking you this question because I've rattled it around in my brain for the past month and I still haven't come to any definitive conclusion. What would you like in terms of schedule? Would you be okay with me having a bit more of a freeform schedule and sort of announcing at the start of a week, I'll be like, right, this week I'm streaming on this day and that day. And then the week after, I'd be like, okay, this week I'm streaming on this day and that day. And they might not necessarily be the same, but I will try and stream X amount of times in a week, but they may be on different days. Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what your experiences have been, either if you are a streamer yourself or if you watch a lot of streamers and that. Just discuss down there. Help me make up my mind on this, because it's just been going round and round in my head and I still haven't come to a definitive conclusion. Either way, the rough plan will be to try and stream twice a week, minimum, and then 3 times a week if, again, I have the time to and am able to. But 2 minimum, 3 possibly. And the games I'm going to be playing on my Twitch channel this year include sim racing games. Like I said, they're not going anywhere, but I do want to dial them back a little bit. For example, World of Sport, not going to be every week anymore. I was very, very kind of souring on GT Sport, especially the online scene, and just how so many races were just frustrating for me in the end. I figured maybe going to a once-a-month style with that, roughly, and kind of coinciding it around whenever the next update and content packs come out for Gran Turismo Sport, so I can sort of go straight into each World of Sport stream and be like, right, it's been a month since we checked out Gran Turismo Sport. What new cars are in the game? Oh, it's this one. We can go and meme the fuck out of that at, I don't know, Spa. Kind of figure that would be the best way to do it. Plus, I do want to play stuff like Assetto Corsa, and I have just bought Assetto Corsa Competizione, R Factor 2, maybe even some iRacing. The year of our Lord 2020 may finally be the year that AJCantFail arrives in iRacing after approximately 10 billion years of being nagged to play it by everyone. This year might be the year. Stay tuned. We'll see. But they won't be as regular. They won't be every single week. They won't be everything that I do. That's fine. Same will go for more general racing games. In fact, I kind of want to focus a little bit more on retro racing games, maybe more arcadey racing games. For example, just before Christmas, I played NASCAR 2000. I started off a new 100% run of Gran Turismo 2. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that. As soon as I'm streaming again, we'll be back on that. I've even bought a new complete set of proper, like, tabletop gaming dice. How beautiful are they? They are my brand new dice, whatever, that I'll be using. And I won't just use them for the Gran Turismo 2 series. I'm planning on using them a lot more just my streams in general. I think it might be a little fun idea to kind of leave a lot more of how I play a game in the lap of the gods, or in the lap of these dice over here, these small, colourful pieces of plastic. So, retro racing games like, old NASCAR games, Gran Turismo, old Need for Speed games like Underground 2, Most Wanted, Carbon, that time. Ridge Racers, all those old sort of games, Burnout, things like that. So there's a few other games I want to try and introduce into the pool of games to play on Twitch. Mostly more simulators. You know me, I love me some Train Simulator, I love me Train Sim World. There's more and more content coming out for both every single day. Dovetail Games are doing really well, keeping producing stuff to play on those. And there's other sort of quirky, I'm not even sure you'd call them simulators, but games like, for example, Automation. Freaking love Automation. Games like that in the sort of simulation, management, quirky design, sandbox, I don't know what you kind of call them. They're just sort of quirky PC games that I really enjoy. You'll see more of those on Twitch as well. Along with, I just mentioned the word sandbox. I think the best way to describe this would be not just sort of open world sandbox games, but sandbox games involving kind of vehicles or city travel or driving or travelling. On the one hand, you have open world racing games like Forza Horizon, Test Drive Unlimited. I love those games, they're great. Burnout Paradise. But I've recently been really getting back into the PS2 era Grand Theft Auto games. You know me, I like a good sandbox, drive around, shooting people them up. I previously played Saints Row 2 and Crackdown 1 on Armbar Arcade's Twitch channel. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about with that. And finally, this might be a little more semi-regular. This might be something I do just on the weekends as like a bonus stream every so often. Sports games. I realised when we were doing Twitch streams on Armbar Arcade, and some of our best videos and streams over there were involving sports games. FIFA, Pro Evo, NBA, maybe rugby games, Olympics. I think we did a challenge belt video on an Olympics game. I've got a golf game on the Sega Mega Drive. Hang on, it's there somewhere. Here we go. PGA Tour Golf 2. For context, I've never enjoyed golf as a spectator sport. There are few things that can put me to sleep quicker than watching golf. But I've put a lot of hours into this game because it's sort of appealingly 16-bit and appealingly a bit naff. The music's great. There's a professional golf player in here called Fozzie Zuela, which I think is just great. It's a cool little game, and I fancy playing it on stream at some point. So there you go. I've taken up far more than enough of your time already. Thank you so much for sticking through all this and watching. And thank you all for being along for the ride already. We've just passed 300 subscribers on this channel, which is really lovely. It's just cool to see more and more people along for the ride, more and more different people in the comment section on videos, more and more different people hanging out in Chatto on Twitch streams. It's all good. I'm quietly very excited for 2020. Give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. Comment down below, especially on the Twitch schedule issue. Do you think a sort of flexible schedule for me would work? Basically, put my mind at rest. Am I right doing a sort of flexible schedule as and when my real life schedule requires it? And subscribe if you do happen to be new around here, because hopefully the stuff that I've been telling you about in this video has meant you kind of want to stick around. And most importantly, I've got a tea to finish. I'll see you guys soon.